Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video I am going to be giving you my match reaction for the Manchester United Club Brugge game that ended Manchester United 5, Club Brugge 0 yesterday night at Old Trafford in the Europa League last 32 second leg. And in total, overall, we won 6-1 on aggregate because it was 1-1 from the first leg at the Jan Bradell Stadium. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did make several changes from the first leg. I think he made around 7 changes from the first leg. And I think he made around 5 changes from the 3-0 win against Watford last weekend. Now, we saw Sergio Romero starting goal. Obviously, we saw Eric Bailly come into the team. He was playing alongside Harry Maguire at the back. We saw Scott McTominay making his first start since Boxing Day. He was playing alongside Fred in our midfield. And also we saw Odion Ighalo making his full debut for the football club. So that was also very, very good to see. Also, Juan Mata had been given an opportunity. Bruno Fernandes had started. We had some news, by the way, regarding Anthony Martial prior to the game. Solskjaer did confirm he was left out of the squad for the Club Brugge game yesterday because he had sustained a thigh injury in training. I don't know how severe Anthony Martial's injury is though, so possibly, could miss the Everton game on Sunday. So yeah, he did make a lot of changes did Solskjaer. Like I mentioned prior to the game, he wasn't going to be taking any risks with the team selection because he did get a lot of things wrong in the first leg. But the good news is now Manchester United have progressed to the last 16 of the competition and we are emerged as one of the favourites to go on and win it. And, the Europa League is a priority for us, like I mentioned, because, it's another route to Champions League football. Plus, it's a chance of us getting some silverware on the board. We are in a good run of form now, 7 unbeaten in all competitions. The last time we lost, was at home to Burnley by 2-0. So now, we'll delve into who scored the goals in the game yesterday night. So the first goal was from Bruno Fernandes. It came from the penalty spot. Club Brugge were down to 10 men in the game. They did get a man sent off, if I can pronounce his name right. I think it's called Simon Dele. He currently got sent off for a deliberate handball because Daniel James had struck it. And, he was basically, being the goalkeeper, but, he'd been instantly, sent off. Bruno Fernandes converted the penalty well. That's 2 goals now for Bruno Fernandes as a Manchester United player. And he's also got 2 assists as Bruno Fernandes. He got an assist against Watford for Mason Greenwood's third. And he also got an assist for Harry Maguire's goal against Chelsea. But, what a fantastic start he's had to his Manchester United career, Bruno Fernandes. It's not just the goals and assists. He's a player that's good at holding up. He can hold up play. His runs on and off the ball are very, very good. His decision making is also good. And he's just been absolutely sensational for Manchester United. And honestly, I do believe that Bruno Fernandes is key to our rebuilding process under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think he's one of the best signings we've made. Probably, one of the best signings we've made for a very, very long time. We paid, 68 million for him. I think he's the club's fourth most expensive signing. And he's going to be here for at least the next 5.5 years. But yeah, and Bruno Fernandes could have had more than 1 goal, by the way. But yeah, he converted the penalty really, really well. The second goal, like I mentioned, was from Odion Ighalo. It's good to see him scoring on his, full debut for the football club. That's his first goal for Manchester United, Odion Ighalo's. Bruno Fernandes was involved in that as well. It was actually Juan Mata that had got the assist, but it was good build-up play leading to the goal for Odion Ighalo, and that was 2-0. I don't think we'll get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer. That's very, very unlikely to happen. But, I think, while he's here until the end of the season, I think he'll make a fantastic impact. Because let's be honest, Odion Ighalo is a good cover-up to Marcus Rashford and that. But I thought he had a really, really good game. So, yeah, and that was 2-0. The third goal came from Scott McTominay. Welcome back, Scott McTominay, because he was out with a knee injury for a while. Scott McTominay, and I did say he's been a big miss in that midfielder, Scott McTominay, where, he took his goal really, really well. Lovely little curl into the corner net. Fred had got the assist for that, and, that was 3-0. And, the fourth and fifth goal, were scored by Fred. So Fred got 2 goals, and I thought he took both of his goals really, really well, did Fred. Chon had got, I think Lingard, had got the assist for Fred's first, and Chon had got the assist for Fred's second. So, yeah, so there were the goals for Manchester United. There were the goals, and another clean sheet as well, which is very, very good to see. Like I mentioned, the substitutions that come on in the game, Mason Greenwood came on. It was good to see him in action because, he did miss the first leg, due to illness. He also started against Watford last weekend, did Mason Greenwood. And I think in the next couple of years' time, Mason Greenwood can be our complete number 9 striker, as he develops more. But he's also an option on that right-hand side. But yeah, Mason Greenwood did come on in the game, which was very, very good to see. And like I mentioned, Chong and Lingard also too came on. I read some of the stats. We had a total of 28 shots in the game. We created a lot of chances. We created around 25 chances. And, I think we had around 10 shots on target. Club Brugge had quite a few shots, but they didn't register one single shot on target the whole game. But I did say, didn't I, prior to the game, I expected Manchester United to win. I pinpointed some of the stuff out, that Solskjaer got wrong in the first leg. But, I said, didn't I, it wasn't a good performance in the first leg, but, it was a good result because we did get that vital away goal that we needed. But, he got a lot of things wrong in the first leg. He put Luke Shaw at centre-half. He started Andrews Pereira and Jesse Lingard. He rested James and Bissaka and that. And he didn't even start Fred, Bruno or Dean Igalo like he did in the second leg yesterday. But he did bring them on as substitutions. Club Brugge are a very, very poor team anywhere in Europe, like I mentioned. The record against English opposition is disastrous. They are good in Belgium because they are sitting top of the Belgian league, our Club Brugge. They're sitting top of the Belgian league, and realistically, it's looking like they're going to win it, our Club Brugge. They was unlucky not to win it last season. We'd have scored one more goal yesterday. The aggregate score would have been the exact same as the one back in the 2015-16 Champions League playoffs when we beat them 7-1 on aggregates because we beat them 3-1 in the first leg and we beat them 4-0 in the second leg. And I think in one of the games, Wayne Rooney had scored a hat-trick in that. But yeah, a lot of good performers yesterday. I thought, again, Maguire did really, really well at the back. Bay did really, really well. He's done good since he's come back. Bay's played 2 games since he's come back. Shaw did really, really well at left back. Shaw's getting into the team now again. I think since he's come back, Luke Shaw's really made an impact. He really has, and obviously, he was out for 2 months, was Luke Shaw. But Luke Shaw did reveal his ambition, and his ambition is to play in a final, because I don't think he's played in a final for Manchester United before. We've been in finals over the years. We've been in finals. We had the Europa League final in 2017. We had the FA Cup final in 2018 with Chelsea. We had the final with Crystal Palace. We had the final with Southampton, but I think Luke Shaw had missed all of them. Luke Shaw's even come out and praised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for what he's done, since he took over at Manchester United and that. But he liked it under Solskjaer's guidance. Wasn't so good for him under Jose Mourinho, Luke Shaw. Because he didn't really get a lot of chances. And obviously, he had a lot of disputes with, Jose Mourinho, did Luke Shaw. But Jose Mourinho had a lot of disputes with the top players anyway. So, yeah, I've been very, very impressed with him. And, Fred, he's really rejuvenated himself now, he's Fred. And, he's a good player, he's Fred. I don't think he's at that level as yet. I think he still needs to be given more time to emulate that level. But I honestly do believe that Fred is doing really, really well, and he's flourishing as a Manchester United player. He's Fred. I thought he was very, very good when he was in Ukraine, at Shakhtar Donetsk. He was very, very good there. And, we got him in the summer of 2018 for £50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. That's how much, we got Fred for, £50 million. So you can say, we did overpay for him. But let's be honest, Fred never really got his opportunity under Jose Mourinho and that. But since Solskjaer come in, his appearances haven't been limited. He has been getting, regular game time, which is very, very good to see. Fred had a really, really good game yesterday night, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Solskjaer's also come out and praised Bruno Fernandes. He praised Odi Nagalo. So more or less, everyone, did play really, really well yesterday night. But like I mentioned, we have had some good results under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Also we've also had a lot of bad results, so let's take that into the equation. But we are in a good run of form now, winning 5-0 yesterday against Brugge. That's probably one of our biggest wins, by the way, under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. We've had a few big wins under Solskjaer. Tranmere 6-0. That was our biggest away win since 1999 when we beat Nottingham Forest. We beaten Chelsea 4-0 on the opening day of the Premier League season. So we've thrashed quite a few teams under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We're beating Watford 3-0 last weekend. So yeah, we're in a good run of form at the moment, and hopefully we can keep this up. That's now 8 goals in 2 games for Manchester United, which is very, very good to see. 8 goals in 2 games for Manchester United, which is very, very good to see in that. And yeah, so I think definitely, Man United are capable of winning the Europa League. Don't forget, we are still in the FA Cup. That's also a priority for us. We are into the 5th round of the competition. And, the league's a priority for us because obviously, we are still in that top 4 race. We are only 3 points now behind top 4, and there's quite a few teams in that top 4 race. It's going to be a very, very difficult game this Sunday against Everton. We need to focus on this game now against Everton away. Solskjaer will make changes from the 5-0 win against Brugge yesterday night. Of course he will. And again, he won't take any risks. Everton's going to be very, very tough, because like I mentioned, Everton have got a lot of good attacking players. They've got Dominic Calvin-Lewin, they've got Richie Arlington, they've got Bert Bernard, they've got Walcott. They've got that Coleman, who I think's done well for them. They've got Sigurdsson. When he was a Swansea player, his record against Manchester United was very, very good. I think he scored against us last season when he was at Everton, by the way, was Sigurdsson. They've got a good centre-half in Yerry Mina. Lucas Ding's a very, very good fullback for them. But, Everton have got quite a lot of good players in their team, and they have really improved under Carlo Ancelotti's guidance of Everton. I think they've only lost twice since Carlo Ancelotti got recommended in. Everton are on their 3rd manager this season, and it is Carlo Ancelotti. Before they had Ancelotti, they had Duncan Ferguson in as the interim manager. Obviously, he's still part of the backroom staff. And before him, they had Marco Silva, who, of course, they did get rid of. Everton have had some good managers, couple of good managers in recent years. Roberto Martinez was a very, very good manager for them. I think Everton did make a mistake by getting rid of him, to be quite honest with you. They had Koeman. I think they had Allardyce at one point. Obviously, David Moyes enjoyed around 10, 11 years with Everton. But, they've had some good players up and down the generations and that. But I think they've got a really, really good squad now, Everton. Obviously probably not good enough to win the league or challenge for the league. Maybe some people believe they can do this now under Carlo Ancelotti, because Carlo Ancelotti is one of the most decorated managers of all time, definitely in that. But he has done a really, really good job. Everton lost to Arsenal last week, 3-2, but it was very, very unlucky to lose because I do think, they dominated the game. We lost to Everton 4-0 last season. That's one of our heaviest defeats under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that 4-0 against Everton. Don't forget, he came out and apologised to Solskjaer, so I did credit him for that. We lost to them 3-0 at the Goodison Park back under Louis van Gaal era in one of the games at Goodison. We lost there 2-0 under the David Moyes era, so we've lost quite a few times at Goodison Park. Everton tend to beat us quite a lot there. They've beaten us 4 times out of their last 7 Premier League home games at Goodison Park. So it is actually, going to be a very, very difficult game. But we are in a good run of form, so I'm confident we can get something. We're looking to win our 3rd Premier League game on the trot. Because we have won back-to-back Premier League games. We're looking to go unbeaten in 8 games in all competitions because, like I've just mentioned, we're unbeaten in 7 now. So since we lost to Burnley, since that disastrous defeat to Burnley, we have really, really, rejuvenated ourselves. So I have, got to credit the team for that. And Man United have still got injuries, take that into account. It's not excusable for how inconsistent we've been this season, but, we have still got injuries. Players have just come back. Obviously, Martial's now back injured because he was out, earlier on in the season with injury was Martial. I think he missed the vast majority of the first part of the season with injured Martial, but now he has got a muscle injury. So Solskjaer's come out and said, there's still a lot of aspects of Martial's game that needs to improve. For him to be a successful number 9, Martial, he needs to, there's 3 things he needs to do, and so one of them, Solskjaer said, he needs to score more goals. But yeah, Anthony Martial, has got a muscle injury. Rashford could be out until the rest of the season. For the rest of the season, Rashford could be out. Rashford has got a back injury. We expected to see Rashford back sometime in March, but now that is not the case because obviously his recent scans, it confirmed his injury is more severe than what we initially thought. And like I mentioned, Rashford's been one of our best players this season, so he's going to be at minimum at least the next couple of months. Could even miss the Euros this year. Could Marcus Rashford. So yeah, and Paul Pogba, of course, he's still out. The earliest we are looking at Paul Pogba being back is for the Manchester derby on the 8th of March. Hopefully Paul Pogba can be back for that game. I do believe Paul Pogba, anyway, is on his way out of the football club in the summer. Pogba was recently coming out and talking about Liverpool, saying that they deserve to be where they are. Obviously, he doesn't want Liverpool to win the title, but this is what Paul Pogba come out with. Prior to the game against Brugge yesterday, Pogba come out and give us an update regarding his injury, and he basically said, he's close to returning. Solskjaer's perception was comparison because he said his return is not imminent. So this is what he basically said. But I'm convinced Paul Pogba will play for the football club again before he leaves in the summer, definitely. And if he leaves in the summer, he'll either go to Real Madrid or he will go to Juventus. Will Pogba? It was coming out the other week saying that Real Madrid only value Paul Pogba at £50 million. So that's 3 times less than what we want for him because we said we want £150 million. So yeah, and 50 million's £39 million less than what we paid for him because we paid 89 million for Paul Pogba and that. I still believe his preference is to move to Juventus. As you all know, his agent Mini Raiola the other week was coming out and talking, saying that, he's likely to leave Man United if we don't get Champions League. He was saying that he's not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's property and stuff like that. I don't know if Solskjaer spoken with Mini Raiola or Pogba himself spoke with his agent, I don't know. But, a lot of United fans and the club in general didn't like, what his agent were coming out and saying. Pogba's in his final year of his contract, but Man United do have an option to extend it by a further year. Definitely. And, with Bruno Fernandes now making this big impact anywhere, who needs Paul Pogba? And we can afford to let him go anywhere, especially if we can get Jack Grealish or we can get James Maddison this summer. Because look at it from a financial point of view, we'll generate a substantial amount for Paul Pogba's departure. Plus, it'll free up our wage bill a little bit, definitely. And, he's now into his 4th season at Man United since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. Pogba enjoyed 4 good years in Turin. So I think he'll probably, go about there, to be quite honest. So he's enjoyed a difficult time at Man United. We have seen him at his best. But he's obviously, been out this season with injury. I think it's over a month ago now since he had the surgery on his ankle. He's only played around 8 games this season for Man United. But, yeah. So he's still out. He's Pogba, obviously, Lee Grant's obviously, out with injury. I think he's a long-term absence, is Lee Grant. So he's also injured. Obviously, we had some good news before the game regarding Tuan Zebe and Fosu Mensah. We've got a lot of the good news coming out about them. Solskjaer did confirm that they are stepping up their fitness regime, so they are close to returning because they've also been injured. But he said, they're close to a reserve game behind closed doors, are Tuan Zebe and Fosu Mensah, so they're coming back. Also, Delort came back not too long ago. He was also involved in the Club Brugge game yesterday. Like I said, Luke Shaw was out earlier on in the season. Bay's just come back. Bay's just come back for us. McTominay's just come back. You know, so Man United have had a lot of injuries this season, to be fair. But, more players are now coming back from injury. But when the likes of Rashford comes back, when Pogba comes back, we will look even more better, to be quite honest with you. My perception regarding Solskjaer is that maybe Solskjaer should be given another season at Manchester United, because this is his first full season at the moment at the football club. This is Solskjaer's first full season at Manchester United, and he has been here. It's almost 15 months now that Solskjaer's been here. He's been permanent manager for almost a year in that, and obviously, surprisingly, we can still finish in that top four, even though we've enjoyed our worst start ever to the Premier League era. We can still finish in the top four. So that just indicates how poor a lot of the teams have been in the Premier League this season, and that, maybe I would be determined to give Solskjaer another season. Obviously, Ed Woodward, has been coming out talking, saying that, we've got the foundations for long-term success with Solskjaer. And he did say, he's determined to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, despite, the increase in debt, and despite, the fall in revenue, because I think, our revenue has been predicted to drop by around 70 million this year from 627 million pounds. The main explanation for this is because we're not in the Champions League. And obviously Solskjaer said if we fail to get Champions League again, Manchester United will suffer even more. But we are a big club, like Solskjaer was saying, with big finances. But, Ed Woodward is still determined to back Solskjaer, yeah. Obviously, some United fans will still be Solskjaer out. Some United fans, would be determined to give him at least another season, because he's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. Now, obviously, if Solskjaer was to be sacked by the football club, I think probably our next manager would either be Mauricio Pochettino or Massimiliano Allegri. But we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers, because we've already sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. We sacked David Moyes, we sacked Louis van Gaal, and we sacked Jose Mourinho. So Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since then. But we're not really known for a sacking football club anywhere. But it is a transition period for Man United. Like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. And, Solskjaer is aware if he's given another season, he's got many expectations to exceed at the football club. Now, if we can get European football and we can finish within the top 6 this season, which I do believe we're going to do anyway, then I think he will be given another season. And, hopefully now, we can, keep this good run of form up until the end of the season, and that, hopefully, Manchester United can do this. And I know I've been criticising Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this season because in a lot of games he's been tactically naive. He seems to have had no plan A, seems to have had no plan B, and there have been an element of concerns about him. And I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure to work out with the football club. He's a legend of the club. That's the only reason he's been given this amount of time, this long period. Because I think if it had been any other manager, Solskjaer would have been gone by now. So our board have softened our stance. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. But I just feel as though as a manager, he's totally comparison to how he was as a player. He is inexperienced as a manager in that. But obviously he's gained more experience in management of being the Manchester United manager in that. So in some games, I've credited Solskjaer, to be fair. I credit him, for the 5 signings he's brought in so far. Because, we spent around £220 million on players since Solskjaer came in. James, Pisaka, Maguire came in last summer. Maguire, they've done really, really well. And Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo came in. So I credit him the 5 signings he brought in. He's also got a lot of trustworthiness young players. We have got a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve. And it is a lot of young players that will become a success at Manchester United, definitely. But, there's still more signings needed at the football club. And we are making plans already for the summer transfer window. We are making plans. Now, I think Ed Woodward is lining up around the £250 million spree. Obviously, we're in for the likes of Jadon Sancho, Grealish. Like I mentioned yesterday, it said, we was interested in Timo Werner. So I think we are going to spend a substantial amount this summer. But when you get Champions League, it'll be the resources of the club will be better. Plus, We'll generate more money that way by getting, the Champions League and that. Obviously, players are expected to leave Manchester United this summer. Solskjaer has confirmed that there will be more departures. This summer, there will be more departures. So we'll generate some money for their departures, which is very, very good. Which will be very, very good to see because he's still deadwood at the football club that Manchester United do need to get rid of. I think the players we need to get rid of, we need to get rid of Jones, Matic, Lingard, Pereira, Chon, Gomez. They're the players I think we need to get rid of. And Chon and Gomez need to go because they're not getting enough opportunities. Gomez doesn't get any opportunities. So I think Manchester United need to definitely, move him on. So these players that need to go in the summer. But on the other hand, these still players I would be determined to keep, on the other hand. But, like I mentioned, a lot of United fans have been doubting the club's ownership and, Ed Woodward, they've also, got a lot of element of concerns about the board and that. And I said, we need to see a lot of changes at the football club. There hasn't only been problem with the management. I think we've made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent because of the mistakes we've made. Obviously Ferguson never made a mistake ever recommending David Moyes in. That's a prime example. There's some players over the years, that we got in and we shouldn't have got rid of. Prime example, Herrera, we shouldn't have got rid of him. We shouldn't have got rid of Romelu Lukaku. I think we also should have got a director of football in last summer, because that's one of the structural changes that we need at the football club. And then if we'd got a director of football in, Ed Woodward could have moved away from the footballing decisions. So take that into account. So we should have got a director of football in. And, and I don't think we should have given Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently. Now, I think, we should have waited a bit longer, to see if he would have been the right candidate. So that was also another mistake Man United made. He's got around 2 years left on his deal now, hasn't he, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or something like that. Still sceptical that I'll see out the remainder of his 2.5-year deal. But, Manchester United are one of the biggest clubs in the world with a fantastic history, fantastic fan base. One of the most successful team in England, 20 titles and that. So, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world, definitely. One of the club's greatest achievements was from 1999 when we won the treble. Of course, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, which is 7 years ago. So hopefully going on to next season, we can challenge for the title. But we've got to get the right calibre players in, if we are going to be, challenging for the title and that. But I expect going on to next season for us to enjoy a better season next season than what I saw this season without a shadow of a doubt. That's what I really do expect. A lot of money's been spent at Man United. A hell of a lot of money's been spent over the managerial eras since the Ferguson era and that. We won't ever be the team that was under Ferguson. Solskjaer won't invoke Ferguson's legacy. Regardless of who our manager is, I don't think, they'll ever emulate into the next Alex Ferguson and that. But I think maybe now Solskjaer will be given the time that he's demanding and that. So that's everything to update you today, guys. Drop your comments, likes on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.